Hey guys, here's part 2 then of the hillbilly gun truck. What we're going to do now is, funnily enough, we're going to cover part 2 of the chassis build, and probably we'll get part 3 done as well in this this section. So the majority of the parts for this that we need are going to be on sprue B. So to make up this axle we need 14B. 14B is this bad boy. Okay, snip. And then we'll get that off there. So there's 14B. That's one we're looking for, 14B. Then we need 19 and 20. So 19 and 20 is there and there. So 19 and 20. So that's 20. That's 19. Okay, so 19 needs to go over that side. That needs to go over that side. That needs to go there. So we need 16, 17, 18. Right. So there's an 18. So there's an 18. So 18 goes there. We need a 17, which is one of these. So there's a 17. And we need a 16. So there's 16 there. Okay, so there's a 16. We need a 15. So there's a 15 there. Right, so that's 15. What other B's do we need? We need 25 and 26B. Okay, so there's 25. Right. So there's 25. Here's 26. Big bit there. These are going to need cleaning up. So there's 26. And we need 27, which is a prop shaft. So we'll take 27 off. 27. Okay, so then we need 24A. So we'll get rid of that. We'll get A out. So we need 24, which is an air tank. So that's 24 there. Right. So that's all the pieces we need for part 2. A little bit of a seam line going on there on the air tank. There we go. Same on this side. We've got a little bit of a seam line we're just going to get rid of. Same on this side. Okay. Let's just trim that off a little bit more. Let's trim that. Right, so we're not going to see the rest of that. Right, so there's 24. So the first things that we need, we need 21 as well, 21A. Which is, looks like a steering linkage or something along the lines. So there's 21 there. Right, so there's 21. So what we're going to do now is just trim that off, or we've taken it off the sprue. And we're going to do the same on that side. Okay, so there's 21. Let's have a look at that. Does that need any cleanup? It needs a little bit just on the edge there, where it's come off of the sprue itself. No. There's a little bit of flash just on that edge there, so that one's good. Right. Hub assemblies, we'll just trim them up where that's come off as well. Okay, that's that one done. Let's just do the same on the other side. That's that one done. Okay, we've got something to do with a prop shaft here. Okay, a bit of a seam line underneath that. That's that gone. Same on this side. Let's get rid of that. And just trim the piece where this has come off the sprue. Right, there we go. Right, that's that trimmed. That's that 18 trimmed. That's it. Does that need trimming? Yeah, just a little tiny piece there. Shit. Okay, we've recovered that. It's there we go. That's that. So what we've got next to trim up are the suspension units. Yeah, there's a big seam line going in the crevice there, and we've got some flash on there, just on the inside edge. Okay. Right. Just need a little bit of trimming on the top here. Right. You know, despite this kit being quite cheap, and italeri saying it's all new moulding, they could just put that little bit of extra effort in, you know, to get rid of these seam marks. It would have been understandable if it was the original moulds and everything, you know, but if they've done new tooling for it, there shouldn't be any need for this. Right. Done. So that's just the prop shaft to go now. Okay, that's that bit done. And that's that bit done. Right. So we're all clean. Oh, just got a little bit on that hub knuckle there. This way it's been trimmed off the sprue. Same on that side. There we go. Right. So looking at this that goes up one way. So that goes on like that. This goes on one way. Okay. So although it's located in the piece, as you can see, the pieces are still loose. Okay, so probably the best thing to do with that then is figure this out. Right, hold on a second. I'll Does that go in that way? Or that way? No, I just said it goes on that way. Right, so the first things that we need to do on here then is glue that using that piece. And then we'll do the same on the other side using that piece. So that's kind of in the middle. And then the next part goes in there. Right, so these then, that bit goes in there and on there. That is a little bit tricky, to be honest. I suppose you get what you pay for, really, and although the pieces go together, I'm not really impressed at this point. Okay, so that's kind of where we need to be then. Okay, those pieces on there like that. So, looking at this, that goes that way around. So the next piece then is that. And as you can see, there is no locating points on that whatsoever. No locating points on that whatsoever. And you've got to get that in there. But the prop shaft goes on here. So I presume you're trying to maybe get that as straight as possible. Like that, maybe. Looking at that. Right, so let's get a bit of glue then. Let's get that on there. Let's get that on there. Okay. So we need that on this side. So it looks like the thin bit goes on this side into that locating bin. Into there. Then on this bit here, there's a bit of glue there. I need to place that little bad boy. Alright, so looking at the instructions then, that's what you're going to end up with. Okay, 2 pieces on either end and then that little cap on in between my finger and thumb. So then the next part of this then is getting that in on here. Okay, so we want that as straight as possible, I presume. Right, so we're going to go for that then. Let's try and get that as straight as possible on there. It still looks a little bit kinks and cross-eyed. Right. So basically, guys, that's what you're going to end up with, or somewhere there or thereabouts. Okay, so all I've done is taken this notch here and tried to get it in the center of the axle to try and line that up. Okay, so that's as best as you can do, because there's no locating points for it. So the next part of this then is getting the chassis. Looking at that goes onto that hole there, and funnily enough, it don't fit. Wow. Wow. That's all I'm going to say is wow. So I'm going to have to drill these out a little bit. Okay, let's just make that a little bit bigger. That looks as though that needs to be a bit bigger still. That one goes on. Huh. Would you believe it? Okay. So the back one needs to be drilled out a bit more. So let's get a different drill bit. And we'll just drill that out a little bit more. When you're drilling these bits out, you're going to have to be super careful. Otherwise you're going to end up taking the whole nib off. Right. So that's, there we go. Right. Okay. Let's try that again. This is the whole reason we test fit, guys. Oh, look at that. It goes on now. Okay. Right, so let's get that one glued on. Oops. That's on. That's on. Right. There we go. So basically, you can't really get it wrong if you follow the instructions. You've got the kinky bit at one end, and then you've got a flat end at the other. But like I said, you are going to have to drill these holes out. So what am I using? I am using a, what's that? A 1.5mm drill bit, which is basically one of them, HSS drill bit. And all I'm doing is I'm just drilling the actual holes out because they don't fit the pins on the chassis. And yes, I have got the correct pins on the chassis, because there ain't any others to put them on. Okay, so we've drilled that side out now. And what we will do is we shall glue that in place. Okay, so that's in there. That's in there. Right. So once that's on, all I'm trying to do is get them to stay straight, going along the chassis line. Otherwise, you might have fitting issues with that. The next piece is this, which goes on with a steering arm to the back, and that sits onto there. Right. So let's get some glue onto there, same onto there, and we'll get that glued into place, that glued into place. Right. So as you can see, that sits on top of the cart springs that we just put on. Okay, and you should have two holes on the inside as such. Okay, so the next piece that's probably going to go on is going to be that prop shaft to come down. And looking at that, now that's interesting. You know what I think I've done there? I think I've got that one back to front. You know what? I friggin' have. So what we're going to need to do is spin that 180. Shit. Right, we had a boo-boo there. Okay, so we'll put some glue back into these pieces. And put that back onto there. What an awful, awful set of instructions. Right, so the only other bit we've got left to do then is to maybe just re-stick that back down. Right. Let's try that again. Right, that looks a lot better. Basically, the issue we had there, if you look at the diff, it's off center. Okay. My mistake, I've had it the other way around, and the problem that it was the prop shaft, this piece just in here, was behind this, so you couldn't get the prop shaft on. That's basically the issue that I had there. So that goes on that way. So while this is still tacky and still wet, we've got a little bit of movement with this prop shaft. So we'll stick that in that way, and we'll stick that in that way. Oh, and look, funny old thing, it's friggin' not long enough now. Right. Alright, so basically, prop shaft is on. Okay, it's only just big enough to fit the gap. Okay, as you can see, there's still a little bit of space here, a little bit of space there. It is literally hanging on by a thread. But it is what it is. So the last piece for this then is this air tank. And just putting the air tank on has just knocked the frigging prop shaft off. Right, okay. So basically what their instruction book is saying is that. Alright, where's my tweezers? There's my tweezers. So what that's saying then is that somehow sits into there. Just like that. Okay. Top tip when you're doing the air tank, put it in before you put the prop shaft on. And then you ain't going to have this issue what I've got now. Wow. Right. Okay guys, so basically we've got the air tank on, the prop shaft on and the front axle, okay. Interesting build so far. Interesting in the fact that, what a ball ache. Right, so basically we've got two more diffs to do. So if we're looking at this now we know how it goes. Okay. Hey, you alright?
I just washed my car.
I heard you.
Huh?
I heard you. You're on video though.
When did you hear me?
Because I've got the window open.
Oh.
But you're now starring in my homemade video.
Huh?
You are now starring in my video because I'm recording.
Huh?
Oh, you've gone quiet now, have you? So, I'm needing 22B. That's a guaranteed wife shut her up, innit? Just tell her you're on video and she disappears back downstairs. Happy days. Right. So both these pieces are 22s. They couldn't have put those injector pins in the worst place, right smack bang in between the detail. In there, look. Wow. We're just cleaning that up a little bit, guys, because it's going to look absolutely awful leaving that in there. It could have been done a little bit better. Same up to the side. And the other pin mark. Okay. So awesome. Right, so that's that bit done. the same on that side. Right. Basically then guys, we've just cleaned up the insides where the pin marks were. So now we need two 15Bs, which are the same pieces as we had before. Right, so there's one, there's two. We need two 18s, three 18s. Okay, so the three 18s are there, which is that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Right, so there's the three 18s, there's one 18, there's two 18, that's three 18. So we need two 16s now, which are over here. Okay, so there's 16 there, 16 there, 16 there. Okay, let's just take that little pin mark off. That's a 16. That's a 16. Let's just tidy that up. There we go. Alright. So then we need a 15. Which is there. We need a 15. We need a 17. 17. I see it. Let's hit in there. So there's 17. Same issue with this one as it was on the other diff. You just got a little bit of a seam line to clean up. Otherwise it ain't going to sit flush. I don't think that's going to really matter, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so there's the 17. So I need 23 C's. Hey, C's? 23C, I see. Alright, so the 23 C's must be these pieces here. Yeah, 4 of them. Okay. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. Let's just have a look at that. Let's just get rid of these little knobbly bits on the ends because they're supposed to be round, not jagged. Same on this side. Okay, so there's a 23C one. Oh. Is 23.2. 23. Okay. 23. And the final one is there. So that's the axles done. So we need, we'll leave these bits for now. Let's get the axles built. So, are these offset? Yes, they are. Right. So I presume interesting. Okay. So a little bit of planning and prep on that again, guys. You just need to make sure the prop shaft's gonna fit the gaps. Okay, so we'll put that one on like that. Okay. Let's get some glue onto there. Let's get that onto there. Okay. Right. So same as before. Let's just make them nice and smooth. I maybe should have done that before I glued them down. But hey ho. Alright, so that's that one done. Is this one alright? No, it's got a little bit of flash on the edges. Stay in there, you git. Okay. Same on there, a little bit of flash. There, right. So the first one then, I've got two 18s on either side, so I can go on there. I can go on there. 18, 18. Okay, we've got the 16 that sits on the inside of there, which is a bit. Oops. Good on there. Alright. We've got those axle bits to put on. With the axle bits, they are actually keyed. As you can see in there, they are actually keyed, so they only go on one way. So you can't really get that wrong. Bit of a stiff fit getting them in. Okay, so that's basically the first one. As you can see, it's got the two prop shaft ends either there. So that'll be the middle axle of the vehicle. Okay, so that's that one done. So the next one, what we're going to do is that. So we've got 18 on this side. 18 on that side. And we've got 17 on that side. Let's go down like that. And we've got the 16. Go down the inside there. That's basically the 16 done. Then we've got the hub assemblies to put on. Okay, so that's one side. Get on there. Shitteroos. Alright, so that's basically the other one. Okay. So that'll be the rear axle. So they're going to go on like that. Or are they? Are they? Don't get it. Okay, so that goes on like that. That goes on like that. Okay, right. I get it. I get it. I see what it's trying to say. Sorry about the silence here, guys. I was thinking. Look at this for a diagram. Alright, so we've got to put the rear axles onto the chassis. Okay, so you've got the front prop shaft coming from here, coming down to the front to the back of the transfer box, and then it's telling you to put this other axle, other drive shaft. Okay, this is what's got to be stumped. If you follow the arrow, it comes all the way down, all the way around. If you look carefully, it comes back on itself, around and into the back. Huh? Why didn't they just show it a different way? Okay, so basically this prop shaft is joined to both these parts here, but what it's trying to tell you is it's got to go over that bar at the back. Wow, how confusing was that? Okay. Next pieces that we need then. We need 29 and 28B. Wow. What's that? What's that? So that's 28. That's 29. Okay. Same as before, nice big seam lines all over the shop. And the injector pin marks are again in a very inconvenient place, so a little bit of trimming there is required, otherwise you might have difficulties getting that to sit flush. Right, so that's that one. That's this one. So we're just trimming off the sprue pieces again. This one has actually had, if you look on there, that's where the friggin' pin mark was. That was holding it to the sprue, right on the detail. Look at this seam line going all the way down. Awful. Right, that's as trimmed as I can get that. So that one goes on there, that one goes on there. So I need 30B. Okay. Right, so there's 30B. Look at that, flash right in the middle. You're going to have to drill that bit out on 30B. So, let's get that out. Right, we're just drilling that through there, guys. Alright, so there you go. You need to drill 30B out. Now we need 31A. Do we need any more B's? 33A. The rest of it's all A's. Right. So, what do we need now? 34, 32. Right. So that's 34, that's 32. That's off there, that's off there. Now we're just going to trim these pieces up as you would any other piece. Right. So that's 32. These only go on one way, so you can't really get it wrong. Right, so there's that one. $31 and 33, so there's 33 up there. Alright, so that's 33 done. Right. So that goes on that way. Now we need 31A, which is down here. Oh. I wonder if we can get away with losing a prop shaft. Right, oops, I'm knocking you all over the shop now, guys, sorry. Right. That's that piece. Right, so looking at that, that's everything we need for this part. So we need to get that, like that. And that goes on the inside one. Okay. That sits on the inside one. That. And we've got this sits on the inside one. And we've got that, I presume. Oh, you're jesting. Really? Right, okay. Right. So let's figure this out. Hmm. I see how that goes. Okay, so these pieces go on like that. Okay, same up to the side then. The good thing with that is they are square pegs. So they will only go one way. Okay. So that sits on top of there. Okay, so that goes on there. That sits on there, that sits on there. You couldn't really ask for a more awkward setup than this. Sit on there and sit on there and just behave. Okay, just behave and get on there. Wow. Patience level 0 with this now. If that don't fit in there, I'm going to throw Paddy. Alright. Wow, this is a little bit of a ball ache, to be honest. Okay. So that sits on there. That sits on there. That sits on there. Okay. And so basically what we have is the most complicated suspension setup to put together in the world. Okay, so that's that. So basically what that's saying now is that goes underneath. And it's fat into the back. So not on there. So while this is still wet, we'll get some sloppy ass glue on there. Okay. Wow. There you go, so there's one prop shaft on. So then we need to put that other piece onto there, which goes on the top by the looks of that. That sits in there, which looks like the handbrake drum. Be another transmission brake type of handbrakes. That go on there. Oh, twat. So basically what's just happened there, guys, is the prop shaft's just snapped on me. Awesome. Right, so let's get some glue onto that. And let's try and get that joined together. Oh wow. Oh, sorry guys, but at this point I'd highly recommend not doing a hillbilly gun truck. This is awful kit. Nothing fits, everything's snapping. Just to give you some idea what I'm on about, look at the state of that prop shaft. It doesn't even frigging fit the gap. That's the sort of gap you've got on all three prop shafts. You know? So I'm going to have to do something with that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, mate, but... Right. So we might just have a damage to hillbilly gun truck as well as a damage to Ford 350. But as you can see there, guys, it's just snapped clean enough. It doesn't even fit the gap properly. And like I was saying, this is the sort of thing you're dealing with all the way through. Nothing fits properly. Quite why that's been made so short, I have no idea. But it is what it is, I suppose. We'll just have to blag that a little bit, maybe. It's not like you're not going to see it neither, is it? You know? I'm going to have to do something with that. You can't leave it like that. Like I said, I might just have to have a damaged prop shaft and have it so both this and the 350 is knackered. Okay. So we're an hour into doing steps 2 and 3 now. This is basically what we're looking at. Okay. That's what the instructions were trying to tell you, to put that prop shaft underneath this bar. Putting these inner pieces on here, that piece and that piece, go onto the 2 holes on the inside, which if you look on this side, oh, you ain't got any on that side, it's just this side. That's a little bit of a ball ache to get in, and it's basically a floating suspension. They are offset diffs, so the diff goes to the right hand side for the prop shafts to join and then snap on you, and that's basically where we're at. So that's stage 2, and we're basically nearly done the chassis. So next up then is stage 4. We're an hour into this, so we'll call it quits at stage 4, and then we'll do another video from there, and we'll keep you updated, guys. So we'll speak to you later, and hope you've enjoyed that installment so far. We'll speak to you later.